This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Hundreds of people in the Metro East could soon lose their jobs after announcement today that U.S. Steel will indefinitely idle its plant in Granite City. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. Granite City is a town that has already seen a cycle of unemployment with U.S. Steel over the years. Annie Krall spoke with the company and the Steel Workers Union today. She is live in Granite City to explain what today's notices could mean for families.
Exactly, Kelly. And as of this morning, U.S. Steel has released 1,000 notices to employees that there may be more layoffs to come. In fact, they're talking about what is still going to happen in the next couple of days if you haven't received that mail yet. It's interesting talking about what's likely going to happen. There have been 340 members laid off. Now the corporation saying that about 600 workers could lose their jobs. In addition, this plant has been announced as indefinitely idled, which means it's unclear when it could be back up and running at full capacity. Right now, workers are taking slabs from other steel locations to operate the remaining parts of the plant. The U.S. Steel Workers Union in Granite City says there are no immediate plans to make any changes to those operations.
It was no surprise. It's no surprise other than causing a whole lot of chaos for the members of the plant, thinking there's more going on than there is. The actual decision is they're going to continue to operate the same level of operation they're currently working right now.
Several potential candidates are in conversations to actually buy U.S. Steel, but because of non-disclosure agreements, their names have not been released, and they won't be until early December. At 6 o'clock, we'll hear from the local congresswoman who represents this area about what her hopes are for the steel workers and their families. Reporting live in Granite City, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
People in a North St. Louis neighborhood want illegal dumping to stop. Couches, tires, and trash bags full of junk are littering the streets in Walnut Park East. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer is in studio to explain what residents want to be done, Diamond.
Well, Kelly, residents say Stratford Avenue and Planned Industrial Drive have been filled with junk for months on end. And they say people are dumping trash faster than the city can clean it up.
It's not every day you see a couch in the middle of the road. But residents in Walnut Park East neighborhood of St. Louis say it's every day they see junk like this.
Why come over here and make a mess? It's crazy.
Julia Hamel works in the area and wants something to be done about it. 3 cameras and 1 no dumping sign are already in place.
This is an area that they feel like it's okay to come dump, and it's not.
At the corner of Planned Industrial Drive and Stratford Avenue, you'll find more than just a couch. There's dozens of trash bags, car tires, a dresser, and even parked semis.
What's the worst you've seen this location?
Filled all the way up to the top, like filled all the way up from here, all the way down there, just trash on each side. And this was just like 2 weeks ago.
Mark Guido runs G&D Smile Service, a junk removal service that cleans streets littered with wood and metal. He says he can scrap the material for $40 to $150 a day. He wants people to know the difference between this and illegal dumping.
Scrappers and junkers are 2 different things, you know.
According to the city's website, residents of majority black neighborhoods report illegal dumping nearly 4 times more often than residents of majority white neighborhoods. The city says residents can bring up to 12 loads of trash to city transfer stations with a valid driver's license and a recent utility bill. Guido says after that is when people have to pay to dump or the illegal dumping starts. And he wants changes at the local level.
Make them come up with something to where they can go to the dump and constantly dump. If they have these jobs, you know, they have to pay for it, of course, but it need to be to where they can constantly go, because otherwise they're going to keep doing this right here.
Now, if caught for illegal dumping, people in St. Louis can face up to 30 days in jail and a $500 fine. I've reached out to the alderwoman Pamela Boyd, who oversees this ward, and we are awaiting her response.
Tonight, firefighters are warning about the dangers of vacant buildings in St. Louis. A fire started in a vacant building on St. Louis Avenue around 4 a.m. and then spread to another vacant building. Firefighters think it was started by someone trying to keep warm. No one was hurt, but firefighters did evacuate from one of the buildings after it showed signs of a possible collapse. There are over 22,000 empty buildings around St. Louis, and tonight at 6, we'll tell you what the city is planning on doing about it. It's the 5th day in a temporary truce between Israel and Hamas. 12 more hostages were released today, including 10 Israelis and 2 foreign nationals. They arrived in Egypt and will be flown to hospitals in Israel to reunite with their families. About 30 Palestinian prisoners were released today as well. Close to 200 aid trucks are heading into Gaza daily during this truce. One Missouri Republican says Palestinian refugees fleeing the violence in Gaza should not be welcomed here. But tonight, Governor Mike Parson says her calls are misguided. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has new reaction from the governor. Mark?
Governor Mike Parson rebuked that Missouri House Republican who's running for the Senate and raising money alongside. His remarks suggested that her broad calls for a ban on all refugees from an entire war-torn region showed she was uninformed about the law, unserious about her proposal, and inexperienced on the job.
Well, you don't have the authority to do that to start off with. I mean, anybody that's been around a little bit.
Republican Chris Dinkins won a seat in the Missouri House in 2018. Governor Mike Parson said if she'd been on the job a bit longer, perhaps she'd have learned which levels of government control immigration and refugee policies.
The federal government can place refugees anywhere they want to without asking your permission. We've been through this before.
In a letter to Parson, Dinkins said Missouri should send a strong message about our values. She expressed great concern about welcoming individuals from regions whose belief systems are rooted in anti-American and anti-Israel sentiments. Tuesday morning, Parson rejected her calls to paint civilians with such a broad brush.
There's a big difference between Palestinian people and the people of Hamas. Hamas are terrorist groups that attack our country and hate who we are. We don't want them here under no circumstances whatsoever. But I don't think you want to take everybody that's from Palestine to make them as bad people. I don't know that.
Dinkins published her open letter as more than 2 million people who call Gaza home hope a temporary truce stretches into a permanent one. Among the casualties there, this young wounded boy, Ayub. His grandmother says he lost 18 family members in an Israeli airstrike. Many there are mourning families gone, houses destroyed, entire neighborhoods erased after the Israeli military launched a counteroffensive in response to the Hamas attack on October 7. In Gaza City, as hungry refugee children waited for food to warm on makeshift stoves, Representative Dinkins, who lives 6,500 miles away, wrote, "It is imperative that we take a clear stand in opposition to refugee resettlement in Missouri," warning many individuals from the Gaza Strip would bring divisive and dangerous ideologies.
Sure, you're going to be careful who we're targeting for to say who we don't want here and who we do. Because again, I think there's a huge difference between Palestinian people and the Hamas. I think that's pretty clear now.
Term limits means Representative Dinkins' days are numbered in the State House. She's running for a seat in the Senate right now. We offered her a chance to explain her proposal. For example, how could anyone practically or constitutionally vet a refugee for their ideas? And which ideas exactly would she allow? She hasn't responded yet.
All right, thank you, Mark. A man accused of operating a dogfighting ring in St. Louis County was in court. In September, police arrested Brian Macklin after discovering 13 dogs in his Hanley Hills home. The dogfighting charges were dropped, but Macklin still faced misdemeanor animal abuse charges. Macklin entered a blind plea on Monday, received a suspended sentence, and will be placed on probation.
City and state leaders broke ground today on the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation Center in North St. Louis. Several big names were there, like Governor Mike Parson and St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones. It's being paid for with $25 million in federal grants. The new 150,000 square foot facility will be equipped with specialty labs, community spaces, and more. And the end goal of the project is to help make the area an epicenter for manufacturing. It's expected to open in 2025. Remembering a former First Lady. A look at her tribute service today in Atlanta.
And Make-A-Wish, giving joy to a special little guy. What this 7-year-old wished for.